The universe has a secret, and it whispers through every stone, every breeze, every quiet moment. This audiobook will awaken you to the law of vibrational alignment, the ancient force that molds your life from the inside out. The moment of remembrance is now. The universe has a secret. Introduction. There is a power within you, ancient, luminous, and ever-living. It has not been lost, only sleeping, awaiting this sacred moment of remembrance. This force, this divine resonance, echoes the heartbeat of the universe itself. It is not something to be found outside you, nor earned through striving. It is yours by right, a gift woven into your being since the beginning of time. For ages, this truth has been guarded in silence by those who walked the hidden path. They knew that such knowledge could not be given. It must be recognized when the soul is ready. And now, you stand at the threshold where the veil thins, and what was hidden is revealed. The universe has kept this secret in trust for you. The language of the cosmos is not spoken in words, but sung in vibration. Every atom hums with it. Every thought you hold, every emotion you feel, sends ripples through the unseen, shaping the world around you. This is the law of vibrational alignment, the sacred principle by which all things manifest. This is not superstition, it is not wishful thinking. It is law, quiet, constant, and absolute. Unknowingly, you have always been using it. The life around you, the patterns you walk, the blessings and burdens, they have all responded to your inner frequency. But now something has stirred. You are no longer asleep, you are beginning to remember. The secret is no longer secret, and the universe is listening. But before we begin, please hit the like button and let me know where in the world you're watching from today. It's always fascinating seeing who's joining us from around the world. Part 1. Awakening to the Hidden Frequency. Chapter 1. The Shepherd's Discovery. In the rolling hills where sheep grazed beneath an endless sky, young Elijah watched over his flock as countless shepherds had done before him. On this particular morning, as the sun painted the clouds in hues of amber and rose, his attention was drawn to something in the grass, a simple stone, unremarkable in appearance yet somehow calling to him. As he lifted it, the stone seemed to pulse with an inner life, its vibration matching the rhythm of his thoughts. When his mind dwelled on joy, the stone grew warm in his palm. When worry crossed his consciousness, it cooled to match his disquiet. Through days and nights with this mysterious companion, Elijah discovered that his deepest yearnings seemed to flow into the stone and return as manifestations in his life. The universe speaks through the ordinary, whispering its secrets through the simplest of vessels. Every object in your world holds within it the potential for divine communion. Each seemingly mundane moment contains the seeds of revelation. The stone that caught Elijah's eye was no different from countless others scattered across those hills, except that he chose to notice it, to listen to its song, to recognize the sacred within the common. In a small cottage at the edge of a bustling town, Martha lived alone with her collection of teacups and herbs. Each morning, she performed her tea ceremony with the precision of a priestess tending an ancient altar. One dawn, as she watched the steam rise from her cup in delicate spirals, she noticed patterns forming in the mist, shapes that seemed to answer questions she had held in her heart. Day after day, Martha's tea ceremony became a communion with the infinite. The rising steam carried messages of comfort when she felt lost, guidance when she stood at crossroads, and wisdom when her spirit sought understanding. Her simple morning ritual transformed into a sacred dialogue with the universe itself. Like Martha's steaming tea and Elijah's humming stone, The ordinary objects surrounding you pulse with cosmic intelligence. Each holds a frequency that resonates with universal wisdom, waiting for you to attune your awareness to its subtle vibration. Ancient practice of object communion. Choose an object from your immediate environment, perhaps a cup, a book, or even a simple stone. Sit with it in complete stillness for 5 minutes. Hold it in your hands, close your eyes, and allow your breathing to slow. Feel its texture, its weight, its temperature. Listen not with your ears but with your entire being for the subtle vibration it emits. This vibration carries messages from the universal consciousness, speaking directly to your soul. Let the object become a bridge between your physical awareness and the infinite wisdom that pervades all existence. Chapter 2. The Language Beyond Words. In the quiet corners of a dimly lit concert hall, Thomas ran his fingers across the grand piano's polished surface. Though he had never heard a single note in his life, music flowed through him like a river of light. As his hands touched the keys, vibrations coursed through his body. Each frequency a message from the infinite. Each resonance a whisper from the divine. The universe does not limit itself to sound waves or spoken words. It communicates through an ancient language that predates human speech, a sacred dialogue that flows through every cell of your being. Thomas discovered this truth through what others might have seen as a limitation, but what was in fact a gateway to deeper perception. As his fingers danced across the keys, Thomas felt symphonies in his chest, rising and falling like tides of cosmic energy. The audience watched in wonder as this man, who had never heard music in the conventional sense, channeled melodies that seemed to emerge from the very fabric of creation. Through his art, Thomas revealed that the universal frequency requires no physical ears to be heard, no spoken words to be understood. This sacred communication flows through you at every moment, speaking through sudden knowledge that appears in your consciousness, through shivers that run down your spine when truth is present, through the quiet certainty that rises from your depths when you are aligned with your path. Rebecca, a mother of 3, experienced this divine connection daily. Living hundreds of miles from her grown children, she would often wake in the middle of the night with an unexplainable urge to call one of them. Without fail, she would discover they had been in need of guidance or comfort at that exact moment. The universe had whispered to her heart, bypassing all physical distance, transcending time itself. Your intuitive faculties are always receiving these cosmic transmissions. When you feel inexplicably drawn to take a different route home, when you think of someone moments before they contact you, when you sense the right moment to act or speak, these are not coincidences. They are demonstrations of your natural ability to commune with the infinite intelligence that orchestrates all of creation. Sacred practice of intuitive communion. Find a quiet space where you will not be disturbed. Close your eyes and allow your breath to find its natural rhythm. When you feel centered, pose a simple question to the universe. It might be about a decision you face or guidance you seek. Do not strain for an answer. Instead, remain in receptive stillness and notice the first sensation that arises within you, whether it's a feeling in your body, an image in your mind's eye, or a knowing that simply appears. Accept this first response without analysis or judgment. The universe's wisdom often comes as a gentle whisper, a subtle shift, or a quiet certainty. Trust what emerges in these sacred moments of communion. Chapter 3. The Forgotten Art of Sacred Listening. In the fading light of dusk, old Benjamin stood at his lighthouse post, his weathered hands resting on the brass railing. His eyes, keen despite his advanced years, scanned the misty horizon with unwavering attention. A young traveler, seeking shelter from an approaching storm, watched in fascination as the elderly keeper maintained his vigilant stance hour after hour without the slightest hint of distraction. "The sea speaks," Benjamin said softly, not turning from his watch. "Not in words, but in whispers that only a still heart can comprehend. When the fog rolls in thick as wool, you must become emptiness itself to perceive what lies beyond. The universe's messages surround you constantly, flowing like invisible currents through the air you breathe. Yet these divine communications cannot penetrate a mind cluttered with thoughts, judgments, and preconceptions. True listening requires you to empty yourself of all you think you know, to become as still as Benjamin at his post." In the bustling marketplace of an ancient city, Sarah, a merchant known for her uncanny ability to provide exactly what her customers needed, often before they asked, shared this same gift of sacred listening. While other merchants called out their wares and haggled over prices, Sarah remained quiet, watching and feeling the energy of each person who approached her stall. "I don't know what I seek," a troubled man once told her. Sarah closed her eyes for a moment, listening not with her ears but with her heart. Without a word, she reached beneath her counter and brought forth a small mirror wrapped in silk. The man's eyes filled with tears as he gazed at his reflection, understanding dawning in his eyes. "How did you know?" he whispered. "The universe spoke," she replied simply. "I merely listened." Like Sarah, you possess this innate ability to perceive beyond the surface of things, to hear the whispers of divine guidance in every encounter. When you release your mind's constant commentary and listen from the depths of your being, every moment becomes an opportunity for sacred communion with the infinite. Sacred practice of inner stillness. As the sun rises each morning, find a quiet place where you will remain undisturbed for 10 minutes. Sit comfortably and close your eyes. Rather than focusing on external sounds or internal thoughts, turn your attention to the quality of stillness itself. Feel it as a living presence, a sacred field of pure potential. Allow this stillness to permeate your entire being. You are not listening for anything in particular. You are becoming the listening itself. In this space of pure receptivity, the universe's subtle frequencies will naturally begin to make themselves known to you. Chapter 4. Why Silence Holds All Power. In the tranquil gardens of an ancient monastery, Henry tended to the herbs and flowers with measured movements, each action separated by moments of complete stillness. A visitor, exhausted from years of spiritual seeking, watched with growing curiosity as the monk seemed to pause between each simple task. "You see," Henry spoke softly, his eyes remaining on the rosemary plant before him, "most souls chase enlightenment through endless activity, prayers, mantras, rituals. But truth reveals itself in the spaces between." He lifted his hands from the earth and held them motionless, suspended in the air. Just as music exists because of the silence between notes, wisdom flows through the gaps between thoughts. The universe's most sacred transmissions arrive not in moments of striving or seeking, but in the gentle pause between your inhale and exhale, in that pristine instant when your mind falls silent. These intervals of pure stillness serve as portals through which divine intelligence flows unimpeded into your awareness. In a small cottage by the sea, Grace discovered this truth in the year following her husband's passing. Each day, she would complete one household task, then pause before beginning the next. In these quiet moments between washing dishes and sweeping floors, between folding laundry and preparing meals, solutions to her challenges would arise unbidden in her mind. One morning, as she stood in the space between making her bed and brewing her tea, the answer to her financial struggles appeared with crystal clarity. The small art studio she had always dreamed of opening, it could occupy the unused sunroom, requiring minimal investment while allowing her to work from home. The idea hadn't come from worry or planning, but from the fertile void of her momentary stillness. You too hold this power to receive universal guidance in the sacred pauses of your day. When you create deliberate spaces of silence between your activities, you open channels through which the infinite can communicate directly with your soul. These moments of pure receptivity allow divine wisdom to bypass your analytical mind and plant seeds of inspiration directly into your being. Sacred practice of the pause. Throughout your day, create intentional moments of silence by pausing for 30 seconds between activities. Whether transitioning from one task to another, moving between rooms, or shifting from work to rest, stop completely. Take 3 deep breaths and allow your mind to become still. In this brief sanctuary of silence, remain receptive to any insights, feelings, or knowing that may arise. Do not seek or strain. Simply allow the universe to fill this sacred space with its wisdom. Chapter 5. The Mirror of Hidden Intentions. Walter stood at the edge of the ancient well each morning before opening his shop, gazing into its still waters. Unlike others who saw merely their outer reflection, he witnessed the true nature of his heart's intentions mirrored in the crystalline depths. On days when his mind spoke of fairness, while his heart harbored thoughts of profit, the water would ripple with darker hues, revealing the discord between his surface thoughts and deeper motivations. The universe operates through this same principle of reflection. It responds not to the wishes you voice or the goals you write, but to the authentic vibrations emanating from the depths of your being. These silent signals, your true intentions, reach across the cosmos with far greater power than any spoken prayer or affirmation. When you declare your desire for abundance while secretly believing you are unworthy, the universe answers your hidden conviction rather than your conscious request. When you speak of love while harboring fear, it is the fear that manifests in your experience. Your deepest beliefs and intentions act as the mold into which universal energy flows, creating your reality with perfect precision. Dorothy discovered this truth in her classroom, where her 20 years of teaching revealed a pattern she had long overlooked. Despite using identical words of encouragement with all her students, some flourished while others faltered. Through quiet observation, she realized that her true beliefs about each child's potential, held silently in her heart, shaped their performance more powerfully than any praise or criticism she voiced aloud. The students she genuinely believed would succeed found ways to overcome every obstacle, while those she secretly doubted often fulfilled her unspoken expectations, regardless of their natural abilities. Her hidden intentions created an invisible field of influence that affected their reality more profoundly than her carefully chosen words ever could. This same principle shapes every aspect of your existence. The universe reads the authentic signal of your being, not the wishes you speak, but the truth you carry within. Your relationships, opportunities, and circumstances all align with these deeper frequencies of intention, creating a perfect reflection of your inner landscape in the mirror of physical reality. Sacred practice of true reflection. Find a quiet place with a mirror or bowl of still water. Sit in silence and gaze at your reflection, moving beyond the physical image to sense the deeper currents of your intentions. Ask yourself, what do I truly intend beneath my conscious desires? Allow any hidden motivations, beliefs, or feelings to surface naturally. Observe them without judgment, understanding that acknowledging these deeper intentions is the first step toward aligning them with your highest aspirations. Chapter 6. The Frequency of Gratitude. Eugene's small farm lay on rocky soil where others had failed to prosper, yet each morning he would walk his modest fields giving thanks for the sun warming the earth, for the birds singing in his lone apple tree, for the very air that filled his lungs. While neighboring farmers complained of poor harvests, Eugene expressed appreciation for every single crop that sprouted through his challenging terrain. What he did not initially realize was that his constant state of thanksgiving was activating an ancient law of the universe, one that operates with the precision of mathematics and the power of cosmic forces. His gratitude, genuine and unceasing, began vibrating at the exact frequency that the universe uses to channel its abundance. Soon, mysterious events began unfolding. Seeds that should not have flourished in his rocky soil began producing unprecedented yields. Unexpected rain fell precisely when his crops needed moisture. Traveling merchants suddenly discovered his remote farm, offering the best prices for his harvest. The universe responds to gratitude as a flower opens to sunlight, automatically, naturally, and with perfect precision. When you stand in genuine appreciation, you unknowingly align yourself with the frequency of abundance that perpetually flows through all creation. This alignment is not a technique to be mastered, but a natural law to be recognized and embraced. Mabel's story mirrors this truth in the realm of commerce. Her small shop was failing amidst fierce competition from larger stores, yet she found herself genuinely thankful for each customer who walked through her door. She appreciated their presence, their time, their trust, not as a business strategy, but as a sincere expression of her heart. What followed seemed like magic to those who didn't understand the law at work. Customers began inexplicably choosing her modest shop over cheaper alternatives. They spoke of feeling valued, of experiencing something special they couldn't quite name. Word spread, and soon her simple practice of genuine gratitude accomplished what expensive advertising could not. Her business flourished beyond all logical expectation. Your experience of abundance operates according to this same principle. When you stand in authentic appreciation for what exists in your life right now, you automatically tune yourself to receive more. This is not about manipulating the universe through forced thankfulness, but about aligning with its natural frequency of endless giving. Sacred practice of gratitude alignment. As you open your eyes each morning and before you close them at night, spend 5 minutes in genuine appreciation for 3 ordinary aspects of your life that usually pass unnoticed. Feel the gratitude expanding from your heart until it fills your entire being. Let this feeling become your natural state of resonance with the universe's endless flow of abundance. Chapter 7. The Secret Door in Every Moment. Frank wandered the ancient trade routes between distant cities, always searching for something he couldn't quite name. Each journey's end promised fulfillment, yet satisfaction remained elusive until one remarkable dawn. As he rushed along a mountain path, his foot caught on a root, forcing him to stop. In that unexpected pause, the veil between worlds seemed to lift. The morning light filtered through leaves, casting patterns he had never noticed before. The air hummed with life, birds calling, insects buzzing, leaves whispering secrets in the breeze. For the first time, Frank realized he had been blind to the magnificence surrounding him in his haste to reach the next destination. This truth echoes through the chambers of your own experience. You have been searching for miracles in some distant future, while overlooking the gateway to infinite possibility that exists in this very moment. The universe's full creative power does not reside in tomorrow or next year. It flows through the eternal now, waiting for your recognition. When you step fully into the present moment, time expands, revealing doorways to dimensions of experience that remain forever hidden from those who rush through life. Each breath becomes a bridge to the infinite, each heartbeat a reminder of your connection to the cosmic dance of creation. Edith, whose nimble fingers crafted garments of extraordinary beauty, embodied this wisdom in her own way. For years she had worked swiftly, her mind always racing ahead to project completion dates and customer deadlines. Her work was adequate but unremarkable until the day arthritis forced her to slow down. Unable to rush, she found herself absorbed in each individual stitch. The thread's journey through fabric became a meditation, each movement a prayer. As her awareness settled fully into the present task, something magical began occurring. Her creations took on a quality that seemed to transcend mere craftsmanship. Customers spoke of wearing not just garments, but works of art that carried an inexplicable healing energy. The power available to you in this moment surpasses anything you might hope to find in the future. When you cease pursuing distant horizons and sink deeply into the now, you discover that what you seek has been present all along. The universe's abundance flows not through time, but through presence, through your willingness to stand fully in the eternal moment where all possibilities exist. Sacred practice of present moment alchemy. Select one routine activity in your daily life. As you perform this task, bring your full awareness to each aspect of the experience. Notice the sensations in your body, the thoughts that arise, the subtle energies at play. Observe how this simple shift in awareness transforms both the activity and its outcomes, revealing the miraculous nature of what you once considered mundane. Chapter 8. The Alchemist's Invisible Formula. In a dimly lit chamber filled with ancient manuscripts, Albert stood before his visitor. No bubbling potions or mystical artifacts adorned his workspace. Only a simple wooden table and 2 chairs. The skeptical merchant who had sought him out shifted uncomfortably, expecting elaborate rituals and exotic materials. "Show me how to turn lead into gold," the merchant demanded. Albert smiled and placed a common stone on the table. "The transformation you seek begins not with metal, but with thought," he said softly. "Watch closely." He closed his eyes and entered a state of pure concentration. The air in the room seemed to thicken with invisible potential. Though the stone remained physically unchanged, something in its essence appeared to shift, as if it now held a different quality of light. The power of mental alchemy flows through your consciousness at this very moment. Each thought you hold carries a specific vibration, a unique energetic signature that the universe mirrors back to you with perfect precision. This sacred science requires no external tools, only the focused power of your intention, aligned with unwavering faith in the natural laws of transformation. Violet discovered this truth in the quiet moments of her daily life. With 5 children to feed and mounting bills, she faced what seemed like insurmountable financial pressure. Yet instead of dwelling in worry, she began a subtle practice. While washing dishes, she imagined abundance flowing like water through her hands. As she swept the floor, she visualized clearing away lack and making space for prosperity. While preparing simple meals, she blessed each ingredient with gratitude, as if she were serving a feast fit for royalty. Gradually, unexpected opportunities began appearing. A neighbor offered her children hand-me-down clothes of surprising quality. Her husband received a promotion. A forgotten investment yielded returns. The physical circumstances transformed not through external action, but through the steady alchemy of her consciousness. Like Violet, you possess this transformative power. Every challenge presents an opportunity for energetic transmutation. Through sustained focus and emotional alignment, you can shift any situation from limitation to possibility, from scarcity to abundance, from fear to faith. Sacred practice of mental transmutation. Choose one challenging circumstance in your life. For 10 minutes each day, sit quietly and consciously transmute your thoughts about this situation. Begin by observing your current mental patterns, then gradually shift them toward possibility and abundance. Feel the subtle atmospheric change within as your consciousness aligns with this new frequency. Trust that as your inner world transforms, your outer reality must follow. For this is the immutable law of mental alchemy. Chapter 9, The Night Sky's Whispered Promise. In the stillness of his mountain observatory, Charles adjusted his telescope with practiced precision. For decades he had searched the heavens through sophisticated instruments, meticulously documenting stellar phenomena and cosmic events. Yet on this particular night, something shifted within him. As he gazed upward, he lowered his notepad and simply allowed himself to feel the vastness above. In that moment of surrender, the stars began speaking to him in a language beyond mathematics and measurements. They whispered of his true calling, not merely to observe the cosmos, but to help others recognize their connection to the infinite wisdom written in the celestial dance. The universe speaks in frequencies far subtler than radio waves or light spectrums. Its messages flow through the channels of your intuition, carrying wisdom that your analytical mind could never decipher. When you release the need to understand through logic alone, you open yourself to a higher form of knowing, one that resonates with your soul's deepest truth. Ruby discovered this one summer evening when life's pressures had become overwhelming. Instead of seeking advice or searching the internet for answers, she drove to a secluded meadow and lay beneath the star-filled sky. "Show me my path," she whispered to the universe. As she relaxed into the embrace of the earth, letting go of her desperate need to figure everything out, clarity began flowing into her awareness. The stars above seemed to arrange themselves into patterns that spoke directly to her heart. Thoughts arose that felt different from her usual mental chatter, deeper, clearer, infused with quiet certainty. She saw how her childhood love of storytelling wasn't just a hobby, but a calling to heal others through words. The universe had been guiding her toward this realization all along through subtle signs she had previously dismissed. Your destiny broadcasts continuously through the cosmic frequencies that surround you. Every synchronicity, every persistent dream, every unexplainable knowing that rises from your depths. These are transmissions from the infinite intelligence that orchestrates your path. The universe never stops communicating your highest potential. It simply waits for you to tune in with your heart's receptivity. Sacred practice of celestial attunement. Find a quiet place beneath the night sky or in nature's embrace. Allow your body to relax and your mind to grow still. Ask the universe to reveal one aspect of your soul's purpose. Remain in receptive silence, knowing that guidance may come through any channel. A feeling, an image, a sudden understanding, or a series of meaningful coincidences in the days that follow. Trust that the cosmos is eternally broadcasting your destiny, waiting only for your willingness to receive. Chapter 10. The Sacred Agreement. In the depths of a coma, Arthur floated between worlds, suspended in a dimension where time held no meaning. In this sacred space, veils lifted from his consciousness, revealing a scene from before his earthly journey began. He witnessed his soul in communion with the infinite light, engaged in a profound dialogue about the path he would walk. The universe operates through divine agreements, sacred contracts written not with ink and paper, but with the eternal essence of your being. Before taking your first breath in this world, your soul engaged in a holy communion with infinite intelligence, carefully selecting the experiences that would best serve your evolution and contribution to the greater tapestry of existence. Pearl understood this truth only in her 80th year, as she sat in her garden watching butterflies emerge from their chrysalises. In that moment, memories of her soul's agreement flooded her awareness. She saw with crystal clarity why she had endured years of illness in her youth. It wasn't meaningless suffering, but rather a chosen path that enabled her to develop the compassion and wisdom needed to counsel others through their own healing journeys. Your challenges are not random misfortunes, but carefully selected opportunities for growth and service. That difficult relationship teaches patience and understanding. Financial struggles develop resilience and faith. Health challenges awaken empathy and wisdom. Each experience, written into your soul's contract, serves the dual purpose of advancing your spiritual evolution and preparing you to fulfill your unique role in the universal plan. The universe never breaks its promises. Every soul agreement made before birth manifests with perfect timing, though rarely in ways your human mind might expect. What appears as an obstacle often conceals a gift, a chance to remember and fulfill the sacred contract you made with the infinite. Your soul chose specific lessons, relationships, and circumstances that would best serve its growth and enable you to share your unique light with the world. When you remember this truth, life's challenges transform from seeming punishments into sacred opportunities to fulfill your soul's highest intentions. Sacred practice of soul contract. Remembrance. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and breathe deeply, allowing your awareness to sink beneath surface thoughts. Ask your soul to reveal aspects of the sacred agreement you made before entering this life. What lessons did you choose to learn? What gifts did you promise to share? What purpose did you agree to fulfill? Rest in receptive silence, allowing impressions, feelings, and knowing to arise naturally. Trust that your soul remembers the divine contract perfectly and will guide you toward its fulfillment. Part 2. Deepening the Sacred Practice. Chapter 11. The Hermit's Silent Wisdom. In the heart of an ancient forest where shadows dance with sunlight and time moves to nature's rhythm, lived Harold, a hermit who had discovered the universe's most potent secret. For 2 decades he maintained absolute silence, yet abundance flowed to him as naturally as water down a mountain stream. Those who stumbled upon his humble dwelling often witnessed mysterious occurrences. Fresh bread appearing on his doorstep, healing herbs growing precisely when needed, and wise travelers arriving at exactly the right moment to assist with tasks requiring more than one pair of hands. The universe responds not to the words you speak, but to the vibration you maintain within. Harold's silence created a pristine channel through which divine intelligence could flow unimpeded by doubt, fear, or mental chatter. His existence proved that when you cease asking with your lips and begin communing with your heart, the cosmic forces align to provide for your every need. In a distant village, Florence discovered this same truth through her own path of silent devotion. After losing her husband, she found traditional prayer empty and unfulfilling. One evening, sitting alone in her garden, she stopped forming words and simply opened her heart to the infinite. In that moment of pure surrender, she felt a presence so vast and loving that tears flowed freely down her cheeks. From that day forward, she abandoned formal prayer for silent communion. Each morning, Florence would sit in her favorite chair, close her eyes, and merge her consciousness with the divine presence she had discovered. Without speaking a word, she transmitted her gratitude, her needs, and her love directly to the source of all creation. Miraculous coincidences began occurring. Unexpected checks arrived in the mail, kind neighbors appeared with exactly what she needed, and opportunities emerged that perfectly aligned with her heart's desires. The universe understands the language of pure consciousness. When you release the need for words and enter the sanctuary of sacred silence, you activate a direct line to divine intelligence. This wordless communion bypasses the limitations of language and connects you to the very frequency of manifestation itself. Sacred practice of silent communion. Find a quiet space where you will remain undisturbed for 15 minutes. Sit comfortably and close your eyes. Release the need to form thoughts or words. Simply be present with the infinite intelligence that surrounds and permeates you. Allow your desires, gratitude, and love to radiate from your heart without mental commentary. Rest in this sacred silence, knowing that the universe receives your pure intention more clearly than any spoken prayer could convey. Chapter 12. The Rhythm of Divine Timing. In the shadows of an ancient clock tower, Chester labored tirelessly over his mechanical creations, each tick and tock precisely measured, each gear meticulously crafted. Yet despite his mastery of minutes and hours, success eluded him. His timepieces, though technically perfect, lacked something essential, a quality he couldn't measure with his tools. One misty morning, an elderly timekeeper appeared at his workshop. The old man carried no watch, yet moved with a rhythm that seemed to match the very pulse of the earth. "You fight against time," he observed, watching Chester frantically adjusting his latest creation. "But time itself is merely the breath of the universe." Through the ancient timekeeper's guidance, you learn that divine timing operates on principles far more sophisticated than human schedules. Each moment of waiting carries sacred purpose, a cosmic preparation occurring beneath the surface of your awareness. When you resist these natural rhythms, you create friction that actually slows the manifestation of your desires. In a small village bakery, Hazel discovered this truth through her daily bread making. For years, she hovered anxiously over her dough, checking it repeatedly, trying to force it to rise faster. Her bread was never quite right, sometimes dense, sometimes overproofed. Until one morning, when an unexpected errand forced her to leave her dough unattended. Upon returning, she found it had risen perfectly, teaching her that nature's timing requires no supervision. The universe operates through cycles and seasons that your logical mind cannot fully comprehend. What appears as delay often serves as protection, preventing you from reaching for the lesser when the greater lies just ahead. Every perceived setback creates space for unexpected blessings to enter, opportunities far more aligned with your highest good than what you originally pursued. Like Hazel's bread, your manifestations require periods of unseen development. During these apparent lulls, the universe orchestrates countless details on your behalf, arranging circumstances, aligning people, and preparing conditions for optimal results. Your role is not to force or rush this process, but to maintain unwavering faith while taking only those actions that feel naturally inspired. Sacred practice of divine timing. Choose one situation in your life where you've been pushing against natural timing. Write it down on a piece of paper. Now, close your eyes and consciously release your grip on when and how it must unfold. Breathe deeply and affirm, "I surrender this timeline to divine wisdom, knowing perfect timing brings perfect results." For the next 7 days, Take only those actions that feel effortlessly aligned, trusting that the universe's schedule serves your highest good. Chapter 13. The Art of Sacred Receiving. Along the bustling streets of the marketplace, Jerome made his way each day, his threadbare cloak wrapped tightly around his shoulders. Though his appearance spoke of poverty, a fierce pride burned in his eyes. When merchants offered him fresh bread or travelers extended coins, he would shake his head firmly, insisting that he must earn his way through life. "I need no charity," he would declare, even as his stomach growled in protest. "What I have not earned through my own hands, I shall not accept." One morning a small child sat beside him, sharing a warm piece of bread without asking permission. When Jerome began his usual refusal, the child spoke with wisdom beyond their years. "The flowers do not refuse the rain, nor does the earth reject the sun's warmth. By accepting what is freely given, they grow into something beautiful for all to enjoy." Through this encounter, you discover that the universe's abundance often appears in the form of unexpected gifts, acts of kindness, and opportunities that you might reflexively decline. Your resistance to receiving stems not from virtue but from a misunderstanding of the cosmic law of circulation. Every gift accepted creates a channel for more blessings to flow. Maxine, a talented artist, struggled for years in a tiny studio, refusing her wealthy friends' offers to purchase her paintings at their true value. "I must succeed on my own merit," she would insist, selling her work for far less than it was worth. But when she finally allowed herself to receive proper compensation for her art, something remarkable occurred. With proper resources, she created even more magnificent works, touching hearts and inspiring souls far beyond what her previous limitations had permitted. You learn that receiving gracefully serves a purpose far greater than your personal comfort or success. When you accept the universe's offerings with an open heart, you become a conduit for divine abundance. Each blessing received multiplies and transforms, flowing through you to enrich countless others in ways your limited perspective could never have imagined. Sacred practice of graceful receiving. For the next 7 days, practice the art of conscious receiving. When someone offers a compliment, gift, or assistance, resist the urge to deflect or minimize their generosity. Instead, simply look them in the eyes, say thank you, and allow yourself to fully receive the blessing. Notice how this practice not only opens your heart, but creates space for even greater abundance to flow through your life and into the lives of others. Before we get into the next chapter, you can download a free ebook version of this audiobook using the link in the pinned comment below this video. Chapter 14. The Phoenix Within Your Doubt. In the hallowed halls of an ancient library, Clarence sat surrounded by towers of philosophical texts, his mind wrestling with questions that seemed to multiply with each answer he found. Though he yearned for spiritual connection, his analytical nature dissected every mystical experience until it crumbled under the weight of his scrutiny. Night after night he searched through dusty volumes, seeking proof that would satisfy his relentless intellect. Yet one evening, as moonlight filtered through the high windows, he experienced a profound shift. Instead of questioning his spiritual experiences, he began examining his questions themselves. "Why do I trust my doubts more than my direct experiences?" he wondered. "What if my skepticism itself holds the key to deeper understanding?" Through this simple yet revolutionary change in perspective, you discover that doubt serves as a sacred crucible, not an obstacle to be overcome, but a powerful tool for refinement. Your questioning nature, which may have seemed to block your spiritual progress, actually acts as an alchemical flame, burning away false beliefs and leaving only unshakable truth. Iris, a newspaper editor known for her razor-sharp criticism of all things mystical, encountered a similar revelation. Her analytical mind, which had long served as a barrier between her and spiritual experiences, became the very instrument of her awakening. When she turned her penetrating questions inward, asking, "Why do I resist? What am I protecting myself from?" she found that her cynicism masked a deeper longing for authentic connection. As she examined her doubts with the same precision she once used to dismiss spiritual matters, the foundations of her skepticism began to crack. Each question revealed another layer of inherited beliefs and protective patterns that had nothing to do with truth-seeking and everything to do with fear. You learn that resistance to spiritual truth often masks your deepest yearning for it. Like a muscle that strengthens through resistance training, your faith grows more robust through conscious engagement with doubt. When you stop fighting your skepticism and instead welcome it as a refining fire, you transform what once seemed like obstacles into stepping stones toward deeper understanding. Sacred practice of questioning the questioner. Choose one persistent doubt or fear that seems to block your spiritual progress. Spend 20 minutes in quiet contemplation, turning your questioning mind toward the doubt itself. Ask, where did this doubt originate? Does it truly serve my highest good? What truth lies beneath this protective layer of skepticism? Write your insights in a journal, allowing each answer to lead you deeper into understanding. Notice how this practice transforms your relationship with doubt from adversary to ally in your spiritual journey. Chapter 15. The Treasure Hidden in Plain Sight. Ralph trudges wearily along the dusty road leading to his small farmhouse, his dreams of distant riches now replaced by the heavy weight of failure. For 7 years, he had wandered through foreign lands, following whispered tales of hidden treasures and legendary wealth. He had scaled mountains, crossed deserts, and searched ancient ruins, convinced that somewhere beyond the horizon lay the fortune that would transform his life. Upon reaching his neglected farm, he sat beneath the old oak tree where his grandfather once told stories, tears of disappointment welling in his eyes. As he absently dug his fingers into the earth, something caught his attention, a glint of gold beneath the soil. With trembling hands, he excavated further, uncovering a chest filled with precious gems and ancient coins. A note inside, written in his grandfather's hand, revealed that this inheritance had been waiting for Ralph all along, buried in the very ground he had abandoned in pursuit of distant dreams. You learn through Ralph's journey that the universe's most precious gifts often lie within arm's reach, waiting to be recognized. The treasure you seek does not require distant pilgrimages or exotic quests. It resides in the fertile soil of your present circumstances, hidden beneath the surface of what you may have dismissed as ordinary or insufficient. Consider Opal, who spent years in savings traveling to renowned spiritual teachers across the globe, seeking wisdom and connection. Exhausted and still feeling empty, she finally noticed her elderly neighbor, Mrs. Chen, tending her garden with remarkable peace. In conversation, Opal discovered that Mrs. Chen possessed the very wisdom, compassion, and spiritual depth she had been seeking in far-off places. Their subsequent friendship brought Opal more growth and joy than all her previous searches combined. These stories illuminate a profound truth. The universe places your greatest blessings precisely where you are, often disguised as ordinary circumstances or familiar relationships. What appears as limitation may contain untold opportunities. What seems mundane might hold miraculous potential. The answers to your deepest prayers may already exist within your current situation, waiting only for you to perceive them with new awareness. Sacred practice of recognizing present treasures. Select one aspect of your current life that you've been viewing as inadequate or ordinary, perhaps a job, relationship, or living situation. Spend 30 minutes in quiet reflection, examining this aspect as if discovering it for the first time. Ask yourself, what hidden gifts lie within this situation? What opportunities for growth or blessing have I been overlooking? How might this very circumstance be the answer to prayers I've been sending to the universe? Record your insights, allowing yourself to see familiar territory with fresh eyes and an open heart. Chapter 16, The Dance of Surrender and Action. In the sacred halls of an ancient dance studio, Vernon stood before his instructor, Master Chen, frustration etched across his young face. For months he had practiced every step with mechanical precision, yet his performances felt lifeless, lacking the ethereal grace he witnessed in his teacher's movements. "Watch closely," Master Chen whispered, his aged frame beginning to sway. Though his steps appeared simple, they carried an otherworldly beauty that transcended mere choreography. "I don't dance. I allow the dance to move through me." At that moment, Vernon understood. He had been attempting to control every aspect of his art, much as you might try to control every detail of your manifestations. When he finally released his rigid grip on perfection while maintaining his presence and skill, his dance transformed into something magical. A collaboration between his disciplined technique and the natural flow of universal energy. You discover through Vernon's revelation that manifestation operates in this same delicate balance. Just as a dancer must know the steps yet remain fluid and responsive, you must combine conscious action with divine surrender. This sacred partnership with the universe requires both your committed participation and your willingness to release attachment to how your desires should manifest. Gladys, a devoted mother of 3 spirited children, learned this wisdom through her parenting journey. Initially, she either controlled every aspect of her children's lives or abdicated responsibility entirely, both approaches leading to chaos. Through patient observation, she discovered a middle path, providing clear boundaries and guidance, while trusting her children's innate wisdom to unfold naturally. She learned when to step in with loving direction and when to step back, allowing their unique paths to emerge. This balance of action and surrender reflects the universe's own creative dance. Like Gladys, you are called to participate fully in your life, while remaining open to outcomes you might never have imagined. When you force situations to conform to your limited vision, you often block greater possibilities from manifesting. Yet when you remain completely passive, you miss opportunities to co-create with divine intelligence. Sacred practice of balanced manifestation. Choose one area of your life where you've been either controlling everything or remaining completely passive. First, quiet your mind and connect with your inner wisdom. Then, identify one inspired action that feels aligned with your highest good. Take this action with full presence and commitment, while simultaneously releasing all attachment to how the situation should unfold. Write down both your action and your declaration of surrender, acknowledging that the universe may have even greater plans than you can envision. Chapter 17. The Oracle's Paradox. High in the mountains, where ancient wisdom still whispers through the mist, Cornelius climbed the winding path to seek counsel from the oracle of the eastern peak. His heart raced with urgent questions about his destiny, his mind cluttered with 1,000 desires yet unfulfilled. The oracle, an ageless presence wrapped in simple robes, received him not in a grand temple, but in a humble garden where wildflowers grow untamed. As Cornelius began to list his many questions, the oracle raised a gentle hand. "Only when you cease asking for everything will you receive all that you truly need," the oracle spoke, voice soft as morning dew. This truth echoes through the chambers of your own seeking heart. The universe's most profound paradox reveals itself. Abundance flows, not to those who grasp at it with desperate hands, but to those who stand in quiet recognition of their inherent completeness. Like a clear pool that naturally draws rain from the heavens, your state of peaceful wholeness creates an irresistible magnetism that attracts all you require. Beatrice understood this truth only after exhausting herself with aggressive marketing campaigns and frantic attempts to save her failing business. Each desperate promotion seemed to push success further away, until one morning, sitting amid her mounting bills, she experienced a profound shift. Instead of focusing on what she lacked, she began appreciating the customers she already had, serving them with genuine care rather than seeing them as means to an end. A mysterious transformation took place. As Beatrice released her grip on outcomes and poured herself into authentic service, her business began to flourish. Customers sensed the change in energy and were drawn to her shop not by clever advertisements but by the genuine atmosphere of appreciation and abundance that now permeated the space. Your own journey mirrors this sacred principle. When you approach the universe from a place of wholeness rather than want, you align with the natural flow of abundance. Like a flower that blooms without begging the sun for light, your very being becomes a channel through which prosperity naturally flows. Sacred practice of grateful attraction. Choose one full day to shift your relationship with desire. Rather than focusing on what you lack, approach each wish as though it were already flowing toward you. When you think of a desired outcome, immediately transform the energy of wanting into appreciation for its inevitable arrival. Feel gratitude for the abundance already present in your life, knowing that this grateful recognition magnetically draws more blessings through the cosmic law of resonance. Chapter 18. The Invisible Thread of Connection. Edgar traveled from village to village, his cart laden with goods from distant lands. Yet as the seasons turned, he began to notice something extraordinary beneath the surface of his daily transactions. The gruff farmer who haggled over prices taught him patience. The child who asked endless questions about his travels awakened his sense of wonder. The competing merchant who initially stirred his anger revealed his own fear of scarcity. The universe speaks through every soul you encounter. Each interaction, whether pleasant or challenging, carries a sacred message woven into the fabric of your spiritual evolution. Like streams flowing inevitably toward the ocean, these encounters guide you toward your highest destiny. When you understand this truth, you begin to see that there are no chance meetings, no random difficulties, no meaningless exchanges. The universe orchestrates each moment with exquisite precision, bringing you exactly what you need for your next step of growth. Stella discovered this wisdom in her classroom, where 30 young faces greeted her each morning. The student who tested her patience revealed where she needed to cultivate deeper compassion. The child who struggled with learning invited her to develop new ways of teaching. Even the parents who questioned her methods helped her articulate her educational philosophy more clearly. Through these experiences, Stella realized that her classroom was more than a place of academic instruction. It was a sacred space where souls had gathered to teach and learn from one another. Every challenge that arose was not an obstacle to overcome, but a divinely placed opportunity for mutual growth. Like Stella's revelation, your life unfolds as an intricate tapestry of purposeful connections. The colleague who frustrates you may be the very mirror you need to see your own patterns. The stranger who shows unexpected kindness might arrive precisely when you need to be reminded of humanity's inherent goodness. Even your most difficult relationships serve as catalysts for your spiritual expansion. Sacred practice of divine connection. Take a moment now to contemplate 3 recent encounters or situations in your life. For each one, ask yourself, what wisdom was this experience offering? How does it connect to other aspects of my journey? What qualities or understanding was this interaction inviting me to develop? Allow the invisible threads of divine purpose to reveal themselves as you reflect on these connections, knowing that each one serves your highest evolution. Chapter 19. The Alchemy of Forgiveness. Leonard stood before his anvil, hammering metal as he had done for decades, each strike echoing the rhythm of old hurts he carried within. The metal before him, like his heart, held impurities that made it brittle and resistant to transformation. Yet through years of working with fire and steel, he discovered a profound truth. The very impurities that weakened the metal could be transformed by intense heat into elements that made it stronger. The universe operates through similar principles of transformation. Your unhealed wounds and resentments are not permanent flaws in your character, but raw materials waiting to be purified by the sacred flame of forgiveness. Each bitter memory you carry creates an energetic barrier, blocking the natural flow of abundance and miracles that constantly seek expression through your life. When you heat metal to its melting point, its structure changes completely. Similarly, when you apply the heat of forgiveness to your deepest hurts, they transform from sources of pain into wellsprings of wisdom and strength. This spiritual alchemy doesn't require you to deny or forget past injuries. Instead, it invites you to transmute their energy into something precious and powerful. Evelyn discovered this truth through her relationship with her daughter. Years of guilt over past mistakes had created a wall between them that seemed impenetrable. But when she finally learned to forgive herself, to see her past actions through eyes of compassion rather than judgment, something remarkable occurred. The very experiences she had condemned herself for became the foundation for deeper understanding and connection with her daughter. Like Evelyn's journey, your path to freedom lies not in forgetting or dismissing past hurts, but in transforming their energy through the sacred practice of forgiveness. Each act of forgiveness clears another channel through which divine grace can flow, restoring your natural connection to the universe's unlimited abundance. Sacred practice of forgiveness. Choose one person or situation that still carries the weight of unforgiveness in your life. Each day, find a quiet moment to send genuine wishes for that person's well-being and happiness. Continue this practice until you feel the heavy energy of resentment dissolve into the lightness of peace. Remember, you're not condoning their actions. You're freeing yourself from the burden of carrying their impact. Chapter 20. The Sacred Yes and the Holy No. Theodore carried a heavy burden, not of stones or metal, but of countless promises and commitments made in his desperate attempt to please everyone around him. Each yes added another weight to his shoulders, until the very essence of his spirit began to dim beneath the load of obligations that were never truly his to bear. The universe speaks through the quiet voice of inner knowing, yet this voice becomes muffled beneath the constant noise of external demands and expectations. When you say yes to everything, you inadvertently say no to your soul's deepest calling. Each misaligned commitment creates static that interferes with the pure frequency of your divine purpose. The path of authentic service requires discernment, the sacred ability to distinguish between opportunities that align with your true purpose and those that merely drain your precious life force. This wisdom reveals that saying no to what doesn't serve your highest good becomes a profound act of spiritual alignment, creating space for miracles to flow through your authentic gifts. Constance discovered this truth through her music. For years, she performed pieces that others expected, playing in venues that drained her spirit while receiving applause that felt hollow. But when she finally honored her inner guidance and began creating music that expressed her soul's truth, something extraordinary happened. Her authentic expression touched hearts more deeply than her technical perfection ever could. The very audiences she feared disappointing were now moved to tears by the raw honesty of her performance. Like Constance's journey, your greatest service to the world emerges not from scattered efforts to please everyone, but from the focused expression of your authentic gifts. When you align your actions with your inner truth, you become a clear channel through which divine inspiration can flow unobstructed. Each mindful no becomes a gateway to a more powerful yes, one that serves not just others, but the highest good of all involved. Sacred practice of discernment. Take time in silence to review your current commitments and obligations. For each one, place your hand over your heart and ask your inner wisdom. Does this truly align with my soul's purpose? Notice the subtle sensations in your body. Expansion indicates alignment, while contraction suggests it may be time to release this commitment with love. Trust that by honoring your authentic no, you create space for your most powerful yes to emerge. Part 3. Living the Miracle. Chapter 21. The Master's Empty Cup. Nathaniel's weathered hands moved with practiced grace as he prepared tea in his modest garden sanctuary. His apprentice watched eagerly as the master deliberately emptied an exquisite porcelain cup, turning it upside down and allowing the last drops to fall to the earth. Most seek to fill their cup immediately, Nathaniel spoke softly, but the secret lies in first embracing its emptiness. You may have noticed that your deepest desires often manifest not when you clutch them tightly, but in moments of peaceful surrender. The universe operates through a paradox that challenges human nature. The more intensely you grasp for specific outcomes, the more they seem to slip through your fingers like water. Just as Nathaniel's empty cup becomes a vessel for the perfect brew, your consciousness becomes a channel for divine abundance, when you release rigid expectations about how your blessings should appear. This emptying is not about abandoning your desires, but about creating space for something far greater than your limited imagination can conceive. Adelaide discovered this truth through an unexpected path. After her husband's passing, she found herself surrounded by luxurious possessions that had once seemed essential to her happiness. As she began giving away these treasures, fine jewelry, rare artwork, precious heirlooms, something remarkable occurred. Each item she released created space for a different kind of wealth to enter, meaningful connections, profound experiences, and a joy that no material possession had ever provided. You see, attachment acts like a filter, allowing only certain forms of abundance to reach you while blocking countless others. When you insist that your good must come in a particular package, you unconsciously reject the infinite ways the universe might bless you. Like Adelaide's transformation, your willingness to empty yourself of preconceptions opens the door to miracles that surpass your grandest designs. Sacred practice of release. Choose one outcome you've been holding on to tightly. For the next 7 days, practice holding this desire with open hands. Each morning, consciously release your attachment to how it should manifest, saying, I now release this desire to the infinite wisdom of the universe, trusting that what comes will serve my highest good. Notice how this practice shifts both your energy and your experience of what unfolds. Chapter 22. The Miracle of Ordinary Magic. In the quiet hours before dawn, Wilbur moved through the hospital corridors with his mop and bucket, yet his presence carried something far more potent than cleaning supplies. Each morning he approached his work not as mere maintenance, but as an opportunity to infuse the sterile halls with warmth and light. The universe's most profound truths often reveal themselves through the simplest vessels. As Wilbur discovered, his genuine smile and moment of connection with each patient created ripples of healing that transcended physical medicine. Doctors noted that rooms he had visited showed inexplicably improved patient outcomes, not from any treatment, but from the pure intention and presence he brought to each encounter. You see, miracles do not require grand gestures or perfect circumstances. They emerge naturally when you align yourself with the universal frequency of love and service, allowing divine energy to flow through your most ordinary actions. Each moment contains the potential for extraordinary transformation when approached with conscious awareness and authentic care. Consider Lucille, whose cash register became an altar of joy in the local grocery store. She recognized that each transaction offered an opportunity for sacred connection. Rather than mindlessly scanning items, she chose to see the divine spark in every customer's eyes. Through this simple shift in perception, her checkout line became known as a place where weary souls found unexpected comfort and lonely hearts discovered moments of genuine connection. What Lucille and Wilbur both understood was that miracles are not external events that randomly occur, but natural expressions of aligned consciousness. When you infuse your daily activities with presence and love, you become a living channel through which the universe expresses its infinite potential for healing, joy, and transformation. Sacred practice of ordinary magic. Select one routine activity that you perform each day, whether preparing breakfast, commuting to work, or washing dishes. For the next 7 days, approach this task as if it were a sacred ceremony. Bring your complete attention to each movement, each breath, each interaction within this experience. Feel the divine presence flowing through your actions, transforming the mundane into the miraculous. Notice how this shift in consciousness affects not only the activity itself, but ripples out to touch everything and everyone around you. Chapter 23. The Sovereign's True Crown. In the annals of time, few stories illuminate the nature of true power as clearly as that of Augustus, whose vast empire stretched across 3 continents. From his golden throne, he commanded armies and issued decrees that shaped the lives of millions. Yet despite his apparent authority, Augustus found himself increasingly trapped by anxiety, unable to sleep as he obsessed over threats to his reign. One stormy night, as revolution threatened his borders and betrayal lurked in his court, Augustus fled to his private gardens. There, amidst nature's raw elements, he experienced a revelation that would transform his understanding of power forever. As lightning illuminated the sky, he realized that his desperate attempts to control his kingdom had left him a slave to circumstances he could never fully master. You see, the universe operates through an immutable law. True power flows not from external control, but from internal sovereignty. Just as Augustus discovered, your attempts to manipulate outer circumstances while leaving your inner realm ungoverned will always leave you feeling powerless and afraid. Consider Millicent, who served in the household of wealthy merchants. While her employers constantly fretted over their social status and financial investments, Millicent moved through her days with remarkable serenity. The merchants, despite their wealth, lived in constant fear of losing their position. Yet Millicent, who owned little, possessed an unshakable dignity that drew others to seek her counsel. Her secret lay not in controlling circumstances, but in maintaining sovereignty over her inner kingdom. When others reacted with anger, she chose peace. When chaos swirled around her, she remained centered in her truth. This mastery of her internal state gave her an authority that no external position could match. Through Millicent's example, you learn that the quality of your life depends not on controlling outer events, but on how you govern your inner realm. Each thought you entertain, each emotion you cultivate, each story you tell yourself about reality becomes a decree within your kingdom of consciousness. By claiming absolute authority over this inner domain, you transform from a reactive subject of circumstance into the sovereign ruler of your experience. Sacred practice of inner sovereignty. As each new day dawns, take your place upon the throne of consciousness. Set a clear intention for how you will govern your inner kingdom throughout the day. Like a wise ruler, check in with your realm each hour, ensuring your thoughts and emotions align with your highest truth. Notice when foreign influences attempt to usurp your authority through fear, doubt, or reaction. With gentle sovereignty, guide your inner kingdom back to harmony, remembering that your power lies not in controlling what happens, but in choosing how you respond to life's ever-changing circumstances. Chapter 24. The Bridge Between Worlds. In the physical world, bridges connect separate places, allowing movement between distant shores. Yet there exists a more profound type of bridge, one that spans the visible and invisible realms of existence. Such was the revelation that came to Frederick, an architect whose life's work transcended ordinary construction. For years, Frederick had designed structures of steel and stone, until one meditation revealed a higher purpose for his craft. As he sat in silence, he witnessed a vision of a bridge that existed simultaneously in two worlds, its physical form anchored in earthly materials, while its essence reached into the spiritual dimension. This bridge became his masterwork, not merely connecting two physical locations, but creating a space where travelers could experience their own divine nature while walking its span. This bridge mirrors your own sacred design. You are created to be a living connection between heaven and earth, between spirit and matter. Through you, divine intelligence seeks to express itself in physical form. Every action you take, every word you speak, every intention you hold has the potential to bridge these two realms of existence. Consider Rosalind, whose work as a nurse demonstrated this truth with remarkable clarity. While other medical staff focused solely on physical symptoms and procedures, Rosalind understood that true healing required bridging the gap between material medicine and spiritual wholeness. As she tended to her patients, she maintained conscious connection to divine healing presence, allowing it to flow through her practical care. Patients often spoke of experiencing something beyond ordinary medical treatment in her presence, a healing that touched not just their bodies but their souls. What Rosalind discovered through her nursing practice reveals the essence of your own potential. When you consciously align your earthly activities with spiritual purpose, you become a living bridge through which divine power flows into physical expression. This is not about abandoning practical action for spiritual ideals, but rather about integrating both dimensions into a unified force for transformation. Sacred practice of divine bridging. Select one challenging situation in your life that seems to require purely practical solutions. Rather than approaching it solely through material means, create space to recognize its spiritual dimension. As you take necessary physical actions, simultaneously maintain awareness of the divine wisdom and power available to you. Notice how this dual awareness transforms both your approach to the situation and its eventual resolution. Like Rosalind's healing presence or Frederick's transcendent architecture, allow yourself to become a conscious bridge between heaven and earth, joining practical action with spiritual truth in perfect harmony. Chapter 25, The Garden of Infinite Possibilities. Within the garden of existence, every seed of desire follows its own divine timeline. This wisdom, passed down through generations of those who understood nature's rhythms, reveals itself through the story of Cornelius, whose mastery of cultivation extended far beyond mere plants and soil. In his sprawling garden, Cornelius guided his nephew through rows of vegetables, fruits, and flowers, each requiring different care, different timing, different approaches to reach their full potential. "Notice," he would say, touching a dormant rose bush, "how what appears lifeless to the untrained eye is actually gathering strength beneath the surface. Force it to bloom too soon, and you diminish its glory. Wait for its proper season and witness its magnificence." This principle governs not just gardens, but the entire spectrum of manifestation. Your consciousness is a sacred plot of land, containing seeds of various desires, dreams, and potential realities. Some of these seeds require immediate attention, the equivalent of a spring planting that must happen now. Others need careful tending over time, like perennials that strengthen through multiple seasons. Still others must lie fallow, experiencing their winter of preparation before their time of expression arrives. Consider Priscilla, whose classroom became a garden of human potential. Where other teachers applied uniform methods expecting identical results, she recognized that each student operated on their own divine schedule of unfoldment. Some blossomed early in the year, while others required months of patient nurturing before their abilities emerged. By honoring these natural rhythms rather than forcing premature results, she witnessed transformations that appeared miraculous to her colleagues. Just as Priscilla learned to read the seasons of her students' development, you must attune yourself to the natural cycles of your own manifestations. Some of your desires carry the energy of springtime. They're ready for immediate action and will respond quickly to focused attention. Others exist in their summer phase, requiring steady cultivation and regular nourishment to reach maturity. Still others have entered their autumn or winter phase, a time not for outer action but for inner strengthening and preparation. Sacred practice of divine timing. Take a quiet moment to survey the garden of your consciousness. Make 3 lists. First, identify which of your desires show signs of readiness for immediate action. These are your spring plantings requiring active cultivation now. Second, note which desires need patient, steady nurturing over time. These are your summer growing season projects. Finally, recognize which desires feel dormant. These are in their winter phase, requiring you to honor their season of rest and preparation. For 1 week, align your efforts with these natural rhythms, giving each desire exactly the type of attention its current season requires. Chapter 26. The Keeper of Sacred Secrets. Within the hallowed halls of an ancient monastery, between towering shelves of weathered manuscripts, Genevieve discovered a truth that transcended the written word. Though she spent her days surrounded by sacred texts, she realized that the most profound transmission of wisdom happened not through reading, but through being. Each morning, as she moved silently through the library's corridors, arranging books and assisting scholars, her presence carried more weight than any volume she handled. Years of living these eternal principles had transformed her into a walking testament to their power. Visitors often remarked that they learned more from watching her work, noting her peaceful demeanor, her graceful movements, her quiet joy, than from the texts they came to study. This transformation from keeper of books to embodiment of wisdom reveals the highest expression of spiritual understanding. When you integrate these universal principles so deeply that they become inseparable from your nature, you no longer need to speak of truth. You become truth in action. Consider Oscar, whose small carpentry workshop became a sanctuary of living wisdom. He never spoke of spiritual principles or offered guidance to those who visited. Yet customers who came for furniture found themselves lingering, touched by the sacred atmosphere his presence created. His careful selection of wood, his reverent approach to his craft, his absolute presence in each task became a silent teaching more powerful than any sermon. Through his example, Oscar demonstrated how conscious craftsmanship transcends mere skill to become a channel for divine expression. Those who spent time in his workshop often left changed, carrying with them not just beautifully crafted furniture, but an awakened sense of how to approach their own work with similar devotion. This quality of embodied wisdom represents the ultimate flowering of spiritual understanding. When you move beyond intellectual knowledge to become a living expression of these principles, your very presence serves as a bridge between the visible and invisible realms. You need not preach or persuade. Your way of being becomes a silent invitation for others to recognize their own divine nature. Sacred practice of embodied wisdom. Choose one spiritual principle that has touched your soul most profoundly, whether it be the transformative power of complete presence, the divine law of heartfelt gratitude, or the sacred art of deep listening with your entire being. For the next lunar cycle, dedicate yourself to embodying this eternal truth so thoroughly and consistently that it weaves itself into the very fabric of your existence, becoming as natural as breathing. Rather than seeking to explain these mysteries through words or attempting to instruct others in their ways, pour your energy into living this principle with such pure authenticity that its essence naturally emanates from your being, touching all who cross your path with its silent power. Let this practice become your meditation in motion, your prayer in action. When you embrace presence, let every gesture reflect complete awareness. When you choose gratitude, let appreciation flow from your heart in every interaction. When you practice sacred listening, let your whole being become a receptive vessel for divine wisdom. Those around you will feel the subtle yet unmistakable shift in your energy, drawn naturally to the light of truth that shines through your actions, your silence, and your way of moving through the world. Chapter 27. The Eternal Student's Wisdom. Solomon's revelation on his deathbed carries a message that transcends all the knowledge contained in his vast library. After dedicating his life to scholarly pursuits, collecting wisdom from every corner of existence, he discovers that true understanding comes not from accumulation, but from emptiness, the sacred space of not knowing that allows fresh insight to enter. You may have gathered countless spiritual teachings, practiced numerous techniques, and mastered various methods of manifestation. Yet the universe's deepest mysteries reveal themselves not to the mind that knows everything, but to the heart that remains open to knowing nothing. This paradox unlocks the door to perpetual growth and endless revelation. Consider Blanche, whose silver hair and wrinkled face speak of decades lived, yet whose spirit sparkles with eternal youth. When her great-grandchildren bring her their treasures, an oddly shaped leaf, a sparkly stone, or a question about why clouds float, she meets each offering with genuine fascination. She doesn't dismiss their discoveries with adult wisdom or explain away the mystery with scientific facts. Instead, she joins them in their wonder, allowing herself to be touched by the magic of seeing the world anew through their eyes. Through Blanche's example, you glimpse the secret of eternal spiritual vitality. It's not the accumulation of knowledge that keeps the soul young, but the willingness to empty your cup again and again, approaching each moment as if it were the first time you've encountered it. This beginner's mind transforms the most ordinary experiences into portals of revelation. When you preserve the sacred curiosity that allows life to surprise you, Every sunrise becomes a new miracle. Every conversation holds the potential for unexpected wisdom, and every challenge presents an opportunity for fresh understanding. This receptive spirit keeps you forever young in heart, regardless of your physical age or spiritual experience. Sacred practice of eternal wonders. Select one familiar aspect of your daily life, perhaps your morning coffee, your commute to work, or your evening meal, and make it your portal to rediscovery. For the next 7 days, shed the veil of familiarity and approach this chosen activity as if you were experiencing it for the very first time, like a child encountering morning dew on grass. Notice the subtle warmth radiating through your coffee cup, the intricate dance of steam rising in spirals, the symphony of sounds on your daily route that usually fade into background noise. Observe the delicate gradients of color in your evening meal, the way light plays across your plate, the precise moment when aromas first reach your senses. Allow yourself to be genuinely surprised by what emerges when you set aside all previous knowledge and meet each moment with fresh eyes. Feel the texture of your car's steering wheel as if your hands had never touched it before. Watch how shadows shift across your breakfast table, telling the story of another dawn. Let each sensation arrive as a gift, unwrapped slowly and with reverence, revealing the extraordinary hiding within the ordinary. Chapter 28. The Symphony of Synchronicity. Bartholomew stood before his orchestra, baton poised in the air, when a profound realization washed over him. For years he had attempted to bend the musicians to his will, forcing his interpretation upon them like a sculptor forcing clay into rigid forms. But in this moment, as he loosened his grip on control, he discovered something extraordinary. The music already lived within each player, waiting not to be commanded, but to be awakened. The universe operates in much the same way. It flows through your life as an endless symphony, each moment a note in a grand composition that seeks expression through your unique consciousness. When you attempt to force outcomes according to your limited understanding, you create discord in this natural flow. But when you develop the sensitivity to perceive the subtle rhythms and connections that surround you, you become both conductor and instrument in life's magnificent orchestra. Consider Josephine, whose dinner parties became legendary not through elaborate planning, but through her remarkable ability to sense the invisible threads connecting her guests. She noticed how Thomas, the quiet artist, lit up in conversation with Maria, the retired teacher who had always dreamed of painting. She felt the perfect moment to introduce James, who needed investors for his sustainable energy project, to Catherine, who had been searching for meaningful ways to use her inheritance. Without forcing or manipulating, Josephine simply followed the natural harmonies she perceived, allowing connections to blossom organically. This orchestration of synchronicity requires a special kind of awareness, one that recognizes that coincidences are often the universe's way of creating harmony in your life. When you develop this perception, you begin to notice patterns in seemingly random events. The book that falls open to exactly the page you needed to read, the chance encounter that leads to an unexpected opportunity, the delayed flight that results in a life-changing conversation. These are not merely accidents, but notes in the cosmic symphony seeking expression through your experience. Sacred practice of synchronistic awareness. For the next 7 days, approach each moment with an elevated consciousness of the seemingly chance occurrences and mysterious interconnections that weave through your daily experience. Rather than dismissing these as mere coincidence or random happenstance, pause to reflect deeply on their hidden significance. Each synchronistic event, whether a chance encounter on your morning walk, an unexpected message that arrives at precisely the right moment, or a fortuitous alignment of circumstances, deserves your mindful attention and contemplation. Notice how certain themes or patterns begin to emerge like golden threads woven through the tapestry of your days. Pay special attention to those moments when time seems to bend, bringing people, opportunities, and revelations together in ways that defy ordinary explanation. Perhaps you'll find yourself repeatedly encountering specific numbers, symbols, or messages. Or you might discover that a series of apparently unrelated events leads you precisely where you need to be. Ask yourself what greater harmony these divine orchestrations might be creating in your life. What wisdom lies hidden within these cosmic arrangements? How might you more consciously participate in this sacred dance of synchronicity? Remember that you are not merely an observer of these mysterious workings, but a co-creator in their unfolding. By maintaining this heightened awareness, you open yourself to becoming an active participant in the universe's grand design, allowing these synchronicities to guide you toward your highest path and purpose. Chapter 29. The Living Prayer. In the silence of dawn, Benedict knelt in his monastery cell, performing his morning prayers as he had done countless times before. Yet on this particular morning, something shifted within his consciousness. As he reached for his simple wooden cup to take his morning water, he realized that this, too, was prayer. The way his fingers curved around the vessel, the gratitude that arose as the water touched his lips, the gentle return of the cup to its place. Each movement flowed with divine significance. You too can discover this sacred dimension that exists within every moment of your existence. The universe does not distinguish between meditation and washing dishes, between chanting mantras and typing emails. When approached with reverence and conscious intention, every act becomes a holy communion with the divine intelligence that orchestrates all of creation. Witness how Cordelia transformed her family life through this understanding. Each morning as she prepared breakfast for her children, she recognized that spreading jam on toast could be as sacred as lighting candles on an altar. When she folded laundry, each movement became a blessing infused into the fabric that would touch her loved one's skin. Even disciplining her youngest child became an act of devotion, knowing that her firm boundaries arose from the same love that created the cosmos. This is not about adding spiritual practices to your life. It is about recognizing that your life itself is the practice. Every breath you take can be offered as gratitude for the gift of existence. Every word you speak can emerge from the silence of divine wisdom within you. Every task you complete can be performed as an act of service to the greater harmony that seeks expression through your unique presence. When you live in this state of conscious offering, you no longer need to seek special moments for spiritual connection. The division between sacred and mundane dissolves, revealing that all of life is an opportunity for communion with the infinite. Your very presence becomes a blessing, radiating divine love naturally and effortlessly wherever you go. Sacred practice of continuous offering. Choose one entire day to approach every activity as a sacred offering to the divine presence that lives within and around you. From the moment you open your eyes, treat each action, brushing your teeth, preparing meals, working, conversing, even waiting in traffic, as a prayer of gratitude and service. Notice how this conscious intention transforms the quality of your experience and the energy you bring to each moment. Chapter 30. The Secret Revealed. After decades of seeking, Archibald sat beneath an ordinary tree in his own backyard. He had journeyed to distant monasteries, studied with renowned teachers, and pored over ancient manuscripts. Yet in this simple moment, watching a leaf dance in the breeze, everything changed. The truth he had sought across continents revealed itself not as new knowledge, but as a remembering of what he had always known. You too have been searching, perhaps not across physical distances, but through books, teachings, and practices that promise to reveal the universe's deepest mysteries. Yet the secret you seek has never been separate from you. It pulses in your heart with each beat, flows through your breath with each cycle, and shines through your awareness in every moment of existence. Consider Magnolia, who spent her afternoons rocking her grandchildren to sleep. One day, gazing at her sleeping grandson's face, she recognized that the love flowing through her heart was not just a grandmother's affection. It was the same divine love that holds the stars in their orbits and causes flowers to bloom in spring. In that moment, she understood that she had never been separate from the source she had sought through years of prayer and meditation. The love she felt was both hers and the universe's, making her simultaneously the one who loves and the beloved. This is the profound truth that has been waiting patiently for your recognition. You are not merely a seeker of divine connection. You are the divine expressing itself as you. The consciousness through which you experience these words, the awareness in which your thoughts arise, the presence that has been with you since before memory began, this is what you have been seeking. Like a wave searching for the ocean, you have always been what you sought. Sacred practice of remembering. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed, perhaps a corner of your garden at dawn, or a peaceful room where silence dwells like an old friend. Sit comfortably, allowing your body to settle into the earth's embrace, and let your breath find its natural rhythm, flowing like an ancient river that knows its own course. Then, with the gentleness of a mother tending to her child, direct your attention inward and ask your heart to reveal what has always resided there, those timeless truths you've carried since before your first breath. Listen not with the analytical mind that constantly seeks to gather new information, but with the deepest chambers of your being, your cells, your bones, your very essence that remembers the infinite wisdom of creation. Like a master key unlocking a sacred vault, your presence in this moment opens the doorway to understanding. Let the ageless wisdom that has been patiently waiting within you emerge naturally and effortlessly, the way a flower knows precisely when to unfold its petals to greet the morning sun, or how a seed knows the exact moment to push through soil toward the light. In this sacred stillness, feel how your own consciousness becomes the vessel through which universal truth flows, clear as mountain spring water, pure as first light. Your remembering is not a learning, but an awakening to what has never left you. If you enjoyed this audiobook, I created a free ebook version for you. You can download it using the link in the pinned comment. Conclusion. Through these chapters, you have walked an ancient path that countless seekers have traveled before you. Yet your journey has been uniquely yours. For the universe speaks to each soul in the language it can best understand. The wisdom you've gathered is not mere knowledge to be stored away, but living truth that now flows through your being, transforming every aspect of your existence. As you sit with these final words, feel the subtle shift that has occurred within you. The person who first opened this book was searching for something seemingly distant and mysterious. Now you recognize that what you sought was never separate from you. It was the very awareness through which you've experienced every moment of your life. The practices you've learned are not techniques to be mastered and set aside, but sacred tools that will continue to reveal deeper layers of truth as you work with them. Each breath meditation, each moment of sacred listening, each act of conscious creation becomes richer and more profound as you bring to it your growing awareness of your divine nature. You understand now that the universe's greatest secret is not information to be acquired, but a living reality to be experienced in every moment. It pulses through your heart with each beat, flows through your consciousness with each thought, and expresses itself through every act of love and service you offer to the world. The signs and synchronicities you've learned to recognize, the inner guidance you've discovered how to trust, the cosmic support you've remembered how to receive, these are not temporary insights, but permanent awakening to the truth of your existence. You are both the beloved child of creation and a powerful co-creator with the forces that govern all existence. This moment of completion is truly a commencement, for you now carry within yourself an eternal flame of understanding that will illuminate every step of your continuing journey. The miracles you once sought as distant possibilities reveal themselves as present realities, waiting only for your recognition and acceptance. Step forward now into your destiny, knowing that the same divine intelligence that guided you to this moment of awakening continues to support, guide, and celebrate your unfolding. Your journey of discovery has only just begun. Pause here with me. In this stillness, feel the infinite that lives within you. If you wish, type "I remember" below, a simple echo across this field that reminds us we are not alone in this great becoming. If you enjoyed this exclusive audiobook, I handpicked this next book which will change your life.